Welcome into the Farmers Union pregame show. As always, I'm Oda and Noah Grant is alongside. Tauros win big last night, Noah, and they put it away early.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of no contest from the 10-minute marker period number one. We talked a little bit, I guess, jokingly now that the Tauros really aren't winning by big spreads. They really haven't had games necessarily where they've
blown teams out.
And yeah, well, there you go. So, I mean, you have 4 goals just under 5 minutes apart from the 4:33 mark until just before the 9.5-minute mark. I mean, yeah, not much more you can really say. A pretty dominant performance. I imagine, well, I shouldn't say I imagine. I would suspect we might see the same goaltender that finished the game last night for North Iowa, but it's anybody's guess. You might go back to the starter and say, you know what, North Iowa might just chalk it up to, wow, we were shelled in the first 10 minutes and we got to be better.
Yeah, I know the break also plays a weird factor in that, right? You probably don't want Simchin, if you're North Iowa, to sit on getting pulled before break and having that bad start. So maybe you go back to him, but who knows? We'll let North Iowa figure that out. You know, aside from the offensive explosion from the Tauros, Brady James, I thought, quiet in the shutout and maybe underappreciated because of how lopsided the score was, but he only had to make 15 saves, but there were a couple of challenging ones, especially in the third period.
Yeah, tail end of the game, actually, final 2 minutes, and you're kind of like, okay, guys, it's 5-0. Like, you don't need to pile on any more goals. Play strong defensively. We're not going to say the word until it happens. And then you go shorthanded with 3 minutes left. It's like, we're making this a little more interesting than we really need to make it. But nonetheless, like you mentioned, a great performance from him. Just very calm and collected. Yeah. I think that's the other thing, too, is not a flashy goaltender by any means. And at least upon presentation, Ken, maybe you beg to differ being a former goalie yourself, but he's relatively normal based on goalie standards, so to speak. So, very calm and collected, and no surprise, Cody Campbell, as a former Division I netminder himself, pretty good picks between the pipes.
Yeah, if you are going to pick nits with last night's game, 1 for 4 on the power play, 25%, obviously good, but I thought they scored on the first power play opportunity. I thought as the power play opportunities went on, maybe less and less effective. Again, some of that could also have been to do with the score.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the last power play opportunity that the Tauros had was probably their best besides the opening goal that they had. Like you mentioned, the couple in the middle, a little bit lackluster in terms of the urgency. But, when it's 4-0, 5-0, not to say it's unexpected necessarily, but nonetheless, the Tauros continuing recent power play success, and I think that's the most important key.
Let's take a look at the Noodles numbers. You bring in the goals a game goes up for the Tauros, down for North Iowa, obviously, as a result of last night's game. Same thing for goals against for both teams. Tauros down to just 2.1 goals against per game. That's solid, as is the 3.07 they're putting up. Power play, Tauros improved to 14th in the league, now 18.1%. And the penalty kill continues to be strong for the Tauros, improves to 89.32. Obviously, good goaltending and good special teams, regardless of everything else, is going to take you a good way in the playoffs.
Well, you go back about 6 weeks, the Tauros were, an 11% power play and ranked in the bottom third of the league. So, I mean, you look at the production from the offensive side. We talked about it where as games go along, they hadn't needed it because of their 5-on-5 play. During the second half down the stretch, you get into playoff time, that might be the difference maker, is that special teams opportunity. So the Tauros doing well to get another power play marker. Like we mentioned, they've had really good success against North Iowa. Have to see if they can continue it again tonight.
Well, I think that's key as well. You talk about the Tauros penalty kill being as good as it is, and you also mentioned how well the Tauros have played at 5-on-5. If the other team's not scoring on their power play and you're outscoring them at even strength, you're putting yourself in a pretty good position regardless of how the power play performs.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, you look at the comparison, right? 2.1 goals against, compare that to, I wonder what the number is, probably 1.6 or something like that for goals for North Iowa. So really, you're almost outpacing in some senses your goals against, pretty close to what North Iowa's goals for is for the season, which North Iowa right now the worst team in the league, unfortunately. Gives you an idea if the Tauros are able to suppress around that number, around that 2 goals. The old adage is you get 3, you win a hockey game. Well, it seems like for the Tauros, you get 2, you might have a pretty good shot.
That'll bring us to the Tauros Tribune Central Division standings. An update from last night. Tauros cross over to 41 points. They passed the 40-point mark. They also get their 20th win of the season already. I'd have to go back and look. I didn't do that before the show, but I've got to believe this is the first Toro team to have 20 wins before Christmas break ever.
Yeah, I would think so. And obviously first Toro team to 15. So, I mean, they only lose correct me if I'm wrong, 1, maybe 2.
2 cents. Yeah.
2 cents, yeah. So, I mean, it'd be pretty close, to say the least. And, on the other side, you look at St. Cloud, who now vaults into second place. If you're a Toro fan, you feel good about that series. The fact that the team that was below Bismarck, who ranked second last night, has now been vaulted. So the best that either grouping can do is a 3-point spread between second and third, or it's going to be a 1-point difference, or could be tied depending if it goes beyond regulation. So, and then on the other side, Aberdeen quietly creeping up 2 points away from Austin. We talked about that Bruins team, losers of 3 straight coming off the weekend against Minot. It's odd things going on in Austin right now.
Well, and Aberdeen as well. How about their turnaround? They were here less than a month ago, Black Friday weekend, and we were starting to write their eulogy, right? Yeah. And now here they are, just 2 points back of Austin as we head into the break, possibly catching them tonight.
Yeah, you look at that Wings team, they've always been a feisty group. You've got to imagine with the coaching staff there, pretty storied pedigree, however you want to put it, you're going to be expecting that they're still going to have some fight in them. We've still got half a season to play. A lot of things can happen. As Tauros fans 2 years ago know, first half and second half can be a pretty stark contrast depending on how things shake out.
That'll bring us to our Tauros Tribune Live players to watch. You can watch the Tauros Tribune Live on YouTube and Facebook just about every other week here on our social channels. I'm going to go right off the top. The captain, Trevor Stahowiak, obviously last night tied a franchise record with his 66th career assist with a goal and a helper last night. He continues to put up points, and tonight he can become the first Toro ever with 2 Teddy Bear goals in his career. He scored the goal that brought the Bears last year against Bismarck, so we'll see if he can become the first ever to get 2 of those.
Yeah, and obviously the assist watch, as you kind of mentioned, as well. So have to see if he can set one up as well tonight. For me, from the back end, it's Jacob Ingstrup, the 2006, one of the youngest players in the NAHL. I really love the way he plays. Hasn't been in a ton of hockey games this season, but a very strong, smooth skating defenseman. If he looks not out of place like he does right now as a 2006, I mean, time will tell. You've got 3 years basically to be able to continue that development. Should be really exciting.
Our home key group keys to the game. It's Teddy Bear Toss night. Biggest key to the game, score a goal, right? No one ever wants to get shut out, but you really don't want to get shut out on Teddy Bear Toss night. As basic as that is, score a goal. Get one early, ideally. Get the monkey off the back. Don't let the pressure build, and go from there.
Well, especially after the performance last night, it would be a bit of a shame to, creep out after the first period. We'll get to that maybe in our over-unders, but, if you start hitting the middle of the game and you still haven't found the back of the net, compared to last night, it would be kind of a bit of a dagger, so to speak. So like you said, Toros need that. One of the keys to that, my key is right down Broadway. I think the Toros did a really good job early on, challenging the middle of the ice. You saw a lot of defensemen stepping up into the middle of the ice, being patient with their plays. I thought that kind of waxed and waned a little bit as the game went on. Granted, 5-0 games, so, kind of depends how hard you're going to press, but at the same time, I think you still need a little bit of urgency to get towards the middle of the ice. I thought North Iowa did do a better job in the second half of that hockey game at limiting chances to the perimeter.
And as far as the combo pick for the home key group keys of the game, we talked about it late in the game last night. Stay disciplined and don't do anything that's going to cost you not just the rest of tonight's game, but possibly some games in the future, as there's that big 3-game set with Bismarck coming out of the break.
Yeah, obviously you had the fight last night with Weston Knox, who returned to the lineup yesterday. And, I don't have a problem with that one. I think you just didn't want things to get out of hand necessarily. Obviously, an opponent tonight you should hopefully be able to handle on paper. But nonetheless, obviously want to make sure you're doing the right things as you prepare for going to the holiday break.
All right, and that will bring us to our Four Bears Casino and Lodge over-unders. You can play along with these and win a stay-and-play package from our friends at Four Bears Casino and Lodge in the Tauros Hockey mobile app on Apple and Android. Get your guesses in. We'll lock this early in the first period. The first one, Trevor Stahowiak assists. Basically, will he or won't he break or set the record tonight?
I have to go with the over. It's hard to bet against the man who's had points in at least 3 straight consecutive games.
Second one, time of the Teddy Bear Toss goal. I've got it set at 10 minutes of the second period. So basically, will the Toros score in the first half or the second half of the game? Where are you going?
Yeah, first half, I believe, would be the under, so I'm going to go with the under. I think the Toros pop one early in the first.
And then last year, we collected 1,427 bears. That's the number to beat. Toros' total Teddy Bear Bears collected tonight, 14-27. Going over or under last year's mark?
Well, I'm going to go with over because I heard if that, we hit the under, that you and Kobe Brault have to arm wrestle live on camera. So we have to hit the over there.
That'll bring us to our McDonald's Toros trivia question. Who has the most career points ever for the Toros, Noah? I know you know the answer, so we're not going to let you guess.
Yep.
But the choices are Derek Frentz, Blake Lizotte, Christian Mose, or Chase Springman. Again, get your guesses in the Toros Hockey mobile app. Chance to win a meal from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's. Noah, final thoughts before we go.
Yeah, like you mentioned, score a goal, and hopefully this building gets loud and rocking here, and you get the Teddy Bears on the ice early.
All right, that'll do it for us here on the Farmers Union pregame show. We'll turn you over to Ben Lifto with the start of tonight's game.